Don't mind the Prius. That's a loaner car. Alright, new project. Can you see what we're doing? It's almost winter time in Minnesota. And we have a pretty substantial driveway at our house. It actually goes through we have front neighbors, and our house goes between, or rather our driveway goes between their yards out to the street, so it's like 300 feet long, although narrow. Unfortunately, when we first moved here, my grandfather gave me a very useful gift, something that he bought new and really never used. Let's drag this out. All right. So, as you can all see, this is a Toro 524 snowblower, built in 1979. Still runs good, except there's a leak in the head, which has been going on for a couple of years. Not that that's stopped it. And this tire over here is pretty flat. So we got a replacement tube for that tire. Should be able to fill it up. Not sure if we'll get to that today, but it's on the list. And then we're going to open up the engine, not because we necessarily have to fix the seal and fix the gasket, but because, not sure if you can see in there, but pretty much every year mice go into this compartment over here next to the engine and build a little home. And we'll try to figure out a way to keep them out next year. But for right now, I got to open up this whole compartment over here, take the front end off, and clean out the mice crap. So yeah, all this while waiting for a hard disk to format. Alright, so got my gloves, got my tools, and let's start opening this thing up. Hopefully you guys have a pretty good view. Oh, looks like I'm going to need a screwdriver first to take this off. But first let's see, is there any gas in here? Nope, it dried up, so that's good. Last thing I need, well, no, I don't need gas driver anywhere. You know, they always say, yeah, the last thing you need is a hole in the head, or the last thing you need is gas spilling all over the place. Yeah, no, you don't need that at all, first or last. You just don't want it to happen. So let's start with a screw. All right, so a screwdriver. Well, that's not good. Well, fortunately, looks like there's a little bolt head on the side of that, so okay, back to the old standby tool, the small insulated adjustable wrench. Just adjust it here. As I recall, these are actually really long screws. They kind of have to be. They go all the way through the automatic starter body here to the body of the snowblower. I actually don't ever use the auto starter. I got a wire for it somewhere to plug it in. Again, my grandfather bought it in 1979, and he's 97 now. So even back then, he was in his 50s. And he was figuring, oh, I'm going to use this for a few years, and he was thinking his daughter was going to use it. She lives with them and kind of takes care of the place. And it's just too big for her to use. I have a very steep driveway. But yeah, it has an auto starter, and I'd rather pull the ripcord. For me, that's part of the fun of starting a snowblower or lawnmower. Man, this one's really annoying. There we go. That one's loose, this one's loose, and that comes off. We don't want to lose those screws. Alright, so let's take a look in the toolbox here. And I want to say that's not the right socket. That is a 14 millimeter. Of course, it's not the right socket. It's an American piece of equipment. No, 9/16. Lesson number 1. Always keep your sockets in order. Which I did until Lincoln was playing in here one day while I was out messing with the car. Which is fine, because he was keeping him out of trouble. Allie was watching him, of course. 7/16. Nope. Need 8/16 or 3/4. Actually, that'd be 1/2. 12 millimeter. 13 millimeter. Craftsman 1/2. And it fits. Yay. Alright, so we get our socket. Supposed to put the socket in here. Oh, yeah, there it is. I got gloves on for 2 reasons. One, because at some point I'm going to be cleaning up mouse poop. Oh, let's make sure it's... At one point I'm going to be cleaning up mouse poop. And the other reason is because it's cold here in Minnesota. And my tools are cold. It's a lot easier handling them when you're wearing gloves. So, we've got a bit of a problem. I have loosened the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts on the top there. And obviously there's more parts that I got to take off in order to get it apart. But the problem is, as I was looking over the side right about here, I found this. I don't know what it goes to. This must have fallen out. Obviously this is not the first time I've taken this thing apart. Apparently it's not a absolutely necessary part. Or maybe it goes on the bottom here somewhere, but yeah. So in putting this back together, we got to figure out where this goes. Alright, so we got a couple more bolts. This one's 3/8. There's another one over here, right there. And then this one over here, looks like it's a little bigger than that. Let's see. That one's 1/2. Nope, 7/16. And then I think yep, there's one over here. This one's a real pain because sometimes you have to take these grounding screws off. So that's a bit of a pain there, especially putting it back in. But hey, we got to do what we got to do. I think these 2 screws also have to come off because this cover has to come off because I think there's a screw under here. We'll check on that in a bit. Okay, I think I figured out where that screw went. So I was removing the 2 screws from the bottom, 2 bolts from the bottom of the starter here, and it just came free. And hey, look, there's another screw hole up here. So looks like, yeah, you can see all the junk crammed in there maybe. Definitely been some mice in there. I think they might have popped the screw out, but it goes into that hole right here. So we'll put that back when we're done. Easy peasy, good as new. So if you guys missed, something weird's going on with my camera here. But I just pulled the front cover off. It was full of a whole bunch of mouse nest, which is now there, or right there. And commented that last year I actually started the lawnmower or the snowblower up before I cleaned all that out, and it started a little bit of a fire, so it was a little charred on the inside. So yep, this year I'm not taking any chances. I am going ahead and cleaning this out, and I'm placing the head gasket while I'm at it. So there you go. Okay, so I've got the engine stripped down a little more. Took the starter off completely. I was hoping not to have to do that, but there was a bunch of nest stuff in there, so in order to get it out I really had to do that because I don't want any more fires. Took off all the head bolts. I've got them arranged in a little pattern down here so I know which one's which, because they are different, a couple different sizes. And then before I take the head off, took the spark plug off, there's a couple of spacers here that go between the brackets on the gas canister and the head here, and we don't want to lose those because before I didn't realize these were separate pieces, and they just fell off when I was taking it off there. So if we go ahead and pull the head off, see the remains of the previous gasket, and then I'd put in there. Should just come off. So I had to apply a little force, well, more like a big pry bar, but I did get the head off. As you can see, the gasket's still mostly intact, although it looks like there might have been a little something weird going on near the corner there. And for those, I'm just going to put this down carefully. You don't want to get that scraped too much. So I'm going to scrape the gasket off. And for those of you who haven't seen the inside of a motor before, is the crankshaft. It's got a single piston. One of those is intake, one of those is out. I'm thinking that's the intake, that's the out, but I could be completely wrong. But as it turns, piston comes up, valve opens, piston goes down, you hear a cycle, and this is a 4-cycle motor or 4-stroke motor, so it goes up the whole time before this one comes up again. And then at the top you can see the difference between the 2 different valves opening up there. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape off the rest of this old gasket, get the new gasket on. Looks like the same one. I did order a factory original part. It's like 13 bucks or something from Jack Small Engines, and we'll go ahead and put it back together. Okay, so it's gotten a little darker, but I got the head scraped off, got the old gasket scraped off of that, and I got the new gasket on here, and it only goes on one way. If you put it on the other way, and the holes don't line up with the holes in the gasket, so you can only put it in there one way. So let's get it bolted back on and everything put back together. Alright, let's pick up all the entrails. So we ended up not using it. And yes, it's back together. Still got to replace the thing, tube, and the wheel. And test it, but it's getting late and the family needs food, and I'm currently the food provider, so until next time, we'll see you later. So, as you can probably tell, it's another day. I'm wearing different clothes. Had the snowblower in the garage for a couple days. And today, to help me test it out, even though I still do need to fix the tire, is my little son, Lincoln. So, you want to say hi, Lincoln? Say hi? You're just staring at it. Staring in bewilderment. And for those that didn't get the reference, Abe, Lincoln. Abe, Lincoln. Haha. Yeah, he thinks that's funny. Alright, anyway, so Lincoln's here to help me test it out. And he is secured. And we'll see how he reacts to starting up this big beast. Well, never mind on that one, folks. Load it up with gasoline, open the little gas valve that seals the tank off from the carburetor, and gas starts leaking out all over the electric starter. So, not that I use the electric starter, but I still don't like having gasoline all over my motor as I'm about to start it up, especially if there, could be a break in the brand new head gasket, which I just installed. Wouldn't want a little spark to shoot out from there or from anywhere else and start a fire, because who knows where that gas is getting to. So yeah, this project's gonna get shelved until tomorrow when it snows. And fortunately I still have some fuel line that I can use from last year's repair to try to repair the fuel line again. It looks like it's cracked, but yeah.